still the audio okay? I was making sure that people know we're live, guys. That's why I show all our faces in there. So warm up. All right, guys, I'm sorry, but I couldn't resist this beautiful song. Like, I appreciate Senai has been here before already in Cyber Power of Tigray. He knows the drill, but I'm gonna welcome our brother Jamal. I know he goes by Mabel, right?
Ma'bel, or people
Mabel.
call me Jamal.
Thank you. So I'm gonna call you Jamal like we talked in DC. So for those of you who saw what we did in DC, we have every right to brag how well we coordinated, how well we worked together. Jamal was like off the hook. I'm not even kidding you. I was on the truck like recording for Cyber Power of Tigray. Man, I don't know about anybody, but I've never seen you before, obviously. But when I saw you there, I was like, I keep like pushing people. I'm like, grab that mic from him. He's gonna lose his voice. I mean, literally, that was day one, bro.
Yeah, man.
Anyway,
Thank you,
so
bro. You
I
did great
mean,
job too, man. You had
no,
us
no, 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 no.
for the
You're
recording.
just you're like, actually, like the other thing like that really like you wild up the crowd on Saturday when you did it in Amharic, Tigrinya, English. So tonight we're going to discuss some of that, and then we're going to let Sanai jump in. He's going to give us updates with what's happening in LA. I know March 13, right? Should I break the
Right.
news or should I let you guys do that?
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you guys do that.
I'm 13. There you go.
Yeah, March 13th. We're gonna have a nationwide protest. It's March 13th. We've been promoting it. We've been letting all the other groups in other cities and other states know what's happening. We're trying to make this, as big, if not bigger, than the New York protest and the DC protest. So we want everyone to come out. LA is a iconic city, biggest city in America. We're gonna be in Hollywood. The one of the most
Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's gonna be one of the most iconic places in America. When people think about America, they think about Hollywood, Times Square. So we'll be there. We'll make our way to a local news station called KTLA. From there, we'll make our way to CNN. We have a lot of big speakers, and I'll let Jamal kind of speak about some of the speakers we have. We've got some celebrity speakers. We've
And
got
that's not to be told. That's a
oh,
surprise, man.
you know what? Never
We're gonna
mind.
have some special guests, right?
That's
We
not-
got special
no.
guests. Yeah.
Yeah, we got special guests or guests, and we're gonna have our activists who everyone knows about. People who by now we're all familiar with. We'll have them. But yeah, come find out. It's gonna be amazing. It's at 1 p.m. March 13th. It's on a Saturday, so if you're flying in, it's easy. And then of course after the protest, you guys will be able to come and visit some Tagado establishments. You know what I mean? And see our Tagado establishments here in LA. So yeah, we're hoping the whole nation, even if you're in Canada, if you can get down here, come on down.
All right. So here's the deal. I have not done proper introduction.
Mm-hmm.
So we're live on Cyber Power of Tigray. This is the young Tagaru. We all understand Tigrinya. Senai understands Tigrinya perfectly fine. He just doesn't speak it well. That's okay, which is actually why we empower on Cyber Power of Tigray, is that we're done being shy, being afraid of Tigrinya, Tigray. We're not going to empower other culture, other language before we empower Tigrinya. But you know what? English is also the language that most of us speak in this country because that's where we live. That's what, our lifetime has been, most of our lifetime, if not all of our lifetime. So I want the listeners to understand Cyber Power of Tigray is going to mix up Tigrinya, but also when I talk in Tigrinya later on, Sena understands perfectly well. So I don't want the audience to get confused. Like, why is Mike talking in Tigrinya and dissing like Sena? And I'm saying that because Jamal, like, I mean, I'm gonna have him pull some of those things he did in DC. But first and foremost, Jamal, I'm gonna start with you. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
All right. Yeah. My name is Jamal from Los Angeles. Yeah, and my name is Ma'bel, but most people know me by Jamal. And yeah, so I live in Los Angeles. We have a youth group here in Los Angeles that's been working tirelessly on bringing uh, light to this situation in Tigray. So we've been trying to do it different ways. We've been participating in a campaign, Twitter campaigns. This is, I think, we're going on our 7th or 6th protest on the 13th of this month. And yeah, so we've been trying to organize the youth group. We have a youth group here in LA that consists of about 40 people, I think, so far. We're still trying to grow. All Tagaru, some engineers, some business owners, some just got a job, but we have different ideas. You know, we get those different ideas together, and what we've been able to come up with is amazing. You know, just even to me, it's like it blew my mind. I never thought we had this much power until I got to meet all these Tagarus that have the same goal as me, which is to, you know, bring peace back to Tigray and eventually have a free Tigray that determines its own future. So in order for us to do that, we realized we have to come together and make some noise. For example, one way is a protest, and we have very small numbers as Tagarus. So what was going on in DC and in New York, it gave us a light to what we can do. All Tagaru can go to one city every time there is a protest. Like in DC, it was amazing. You were there, Mike. I mean, like it was a lot of people. I mean, even for us, feeling wise, man, you know, some of us depressed right now. We have family that passed away, family that is in the battle as we speak, family that is hiding because they're scared. I mean, we all have some families that is impacted in some type of way. So even for us to get together in a protest, it's useful, you know. Like me personally, I feel good. I feel like something is being accomplished, and then in addition to that, we've accomplished a lot. I mean, the diaspora here in America, or everywhere else, we've accomplished a lot. I mean, TDF now stands for not only Tigray Defense Forces, but for Tigray Diaspora Forces and Tigray Digital Forces. All these three together are TDF. So we've been making a lot of impacts. Now, as we know, the UN is going to make a resolution on the 11th and decide on something they promised. So hopefully they're going to decide in our favor. So on our protest on the 13th, hopefully we come out and thank the UN for the good thing they did. Maybe put sanctions on Eritrea and definitely remove Eritrean forces. And we can thank them and we can demand some more until it's fully, you know, until peace is fully restored in Tigray and we're completely free. Or if they don't vote in our favor, we can pressure some more, you know, as we've been doing. So the protests are one key element of this war. By us being here protesting, we have got a lot done. Like the UN is being pressured partly because of the protests, partly because of Twitter campaign, partly because of everything that we do here overseas. It's what's affecting the UN. And of course, we have our Jaganu back home. While we do this for them, they're fighting there. So I feel like we can make the fight easier for them by uniting together, coming together. So the main point of us coming here tonight is we want to let everybody know we have a big protest on March 13. It's going to be a very huge protest, in my opinion, because it's going to be in Hollywood, the Chinese theater. And the Chinese theater, Hollywood, is a very iconic area where they do red carpets and whole types of celebrity stuff. So it's a very iconic area. And the Armenian protest was held there. Black Lives Matter protest was held there. It even has Black Lives Matter on the road. If you guys saw, we've passed by there before when we did our first drive protest, and that's the area. But now we're gonna post there, protest, have some special guests speak, and we're gonna walk, like Sanai mentioned, to all the way to CNN, KTLA. and we're gonna call them out to cover us. So I think this can bring a lot of light, and more people can know about what's going on. And the more people know, the more pressure the government is gonna have to get their butt up out of Tigray, right?
Of course, of course. So, Sernai, I'm going to ask you some questions, but let me make a quick remarks. When I met Jamal in DC, it's obvious, right? Many of us, we just walked each other up and say what's up with our flag, with the pride of Tigray, despite the challenges like what Jamal just mentioned. We all have like gone through a lot of pain and suffering based on what's happening. But I'm reading some of these comments, for instance, like Brother Denny. It's funny, like, so I met him in DC, and he made no hesitation. He actually came and picked me up and pick a couple other Tagars to the car protest on Saturday, and we never met each other before that. But that's the strength and the power of Tagaro. So you know what? He's coming to LA. You guys see that?
Yeah, welcome. We see that.
So Danny, I'm gonna see you because I think Senai and Jamal forgot to invite me. No, they did. I'm going down too.
No, Mike. Definitely, you gotta come.
We're gonna be live on Cyber Power of Tigray for sure. So I look forward, like many of you, like hopefully across the United States, just what we saw in DC. What I'd love to see is not just West Coast, but all of you, the East Coast, Midwest, please join the team. Please come to LA on March 13. That is 10 days from today, and that is actually a Saturday. So I'm hoping many of you are off work so you can fly in on Friday night. So I really look forward to seeing you guys. Keep asking me the questions. I'll post them. I'll select your questions, comments. So going back to Senai, has there been any unity like this ever that you have seen in Tagaro?
No, Jamal was just saying it actually, which is crazy because Jamal was just mentioning that, like, about how we kind of all got united, and we're all coming together and using our numbers in ways that we never thought of, because we are kind of like a small community, in Tigray we're a minority, and then when you consider Habesha people in America, we're a minority too, right? Even compared to Eritreans or other ethnicities in Ethiopia, we're like the smallest one. So, before this war, I mean, like, me and Jamal work together. We talk on the phone almost every day. We have meetings almost every day. I see him every weekend. And the same with the rest of the Tagaros in LA, But we just met each other like a month ago or 2 months ago, or maybe in December, right? So not too long ago. But because of what's happening back home and because of this fight that that unified all of us across the world, really, we've gotten so close, and because of that, we can make sure that we what am I trying to say? We've gotten united across the world. Sorry, guys, I don't know if you hear that. Give me 1 second.
Yep. We're good.
Sorry, Mike. Give me 1 second.
All right. So Senai is make some adjustment. I'm going to bring you in, Gemma, while Senai makes an adjustment. So I was asking him, I'll ask you the same question. You can answer it quickly until he comes back. So when is the last time you've seen this many Tagaro united?
Never, yeah. Man. Never. Never seen this, man. I've been in LA since 2007. And before LA, I was in Chicago since 2004. So, I mean, I have never seen... Sorry, keeps getting disconnected. But I have never seen any... we haven't never been disconnected before. This is the first time I'm seeing this. Unfortunately, it's happening through bad times, and hope it would have been good if we were together before. But the bond Tagaros have now, I mean, it's amazing. Before, I didn't even know who was Tigray and who was not. I didn't know Senai was Tigray, You just know everybody as Ethiopian.
Yeah.
And it's a wrap, So now
right.
we know each other, we know who's who, you know, so it's just a good thing. I like this bond, and better late than never, you know. I mean, it's happening now at least.
Yeah,
For
that's
sure.
true. Like,
For sure.
yeah, you know what? I didn't know who was Tagado. I never asked somebody, you know, are you Tagado, or you Amhara, are you Eritrean? Like, you know, if you're Habesha, you're Habesha, right? And so because of all this, obviously now it's like the ethnicities come to the forefront, and now it's like I know who's Tagado or who's non-Tagado. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, like I'm happy that I have this new family. So,
You know, a lot of Tagaru are like, yes, I would say they're excited to know we have this strength and unity to work together, to stand together, to be there for one another during this difficult time. So you mentioned on the 13th, the United Nations is going to have a resolution, hopefully. But did you guys know they're going to
On the
also have
11th.
a meeting tomorrow?
On the 11th.
On the 11th, yeah. So
Yeah.
they also meeting tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Behind closed doors. So there's supposed to be a discussion behind closed doors. We won't know much of it, obviously, because they're not going to be speaking publicly. But there's some discussion going on. And to go back to your credit earlier, obviously, what we have done so far and what we continue to do, we stopped the drone massacre. So we know United Arab Emirates out of Eritrea, out of the bombing. We know that the world community is recognizing the genocide in Tigray. So I think Eritrea has forces that is desperate and hope to capture the Tigray leadership, and they've been doing that since November 4th. Obviously, it just, I don't even know how to like describe or explain what's happening, but every time they go face like Tigray Defense Forces, they get their asses whipped, and then they turn around and go after civilians. And the children throughout Tigray, which is, I have the title today, Save the Children of Tigray, are paying heavy price on the hands of dictators. What is it going to take for Africa to wake up? And anytime there's a dictator, that the people have to unite to get rid of dictator. So now I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah, that's a tough question. I don't even know how to answer that. You know, it seems like it's been like a back-to-back thing, right? I mean, Rwanda, no, Uganda, excuse me. They just had their election, and of course, Museveni, he won that, and it looked like all kinds of shady. We have our election coming up, which is not going to be a real election, obviously, if it even happens. And if you look at a lot of other countries in Africa, it's kind of the same thing over and over again. I mean, even the African Union, they voted to support Abiy, and after they heard about what was happening and they knew all the facts. It wasn't like the first week. This was after a month and a half. So they knew the atrocities that were happening. Any world government or any world leaders say that they didn't know, that's fake. Even America's been known what's been happening since as early as the end of November. They've known these massacres are happening. So it's a hard question to answer. I don't know what it's going to take. The African people, we don't want these dictators, right? More or less collectively, we don't want these dictators. And some people say it's political issues, or Arab or Western countries that are kind of instigating these issues. I mean, that's there's probably a point to that, but I don't know. I mean, it definitely starts with us, the people.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, I think we are their nightmares.
Yeah. I mean, and not just the diaspora, people back home too. It starts with them.
Of course.
So I mean, education is key. As people learn more and more connected, just like we did right now. Our parents or our older relatives, when they were here in America or Europe, back when we had the second Wayane, they couldn't do what we're doing right now. But since we have this information, we can connect with Tagadus. I mean, we're over here holding meetings with Tagadus in Australia and Holland, in New York and DC. We're over here doing this right now because of technology. So I think that in the future, Africans as a whole will be able to use that to their advantage. Because there's only so much that these dictators and these evil people in these Western countries can do to manipulate us to keep these dictators in power. Eventually, it's not going to be the case. Eventually, because of technology and education, our people are going to rise up. They're going to wise up, and this hopefully will be a thing of the past. And there you go.
Sorry, it's not funny, but
I mean,
this is what we have in the 21st century. This happened in the 19th century.
Yeah, I mean, it's accurate, right? And people before would have been like, this is an exaggeration, but it's not. Like that's him, right? I mean, Stalin, Hitler. If you look at some of the stuff they did, Stalin starving his people, Hitler trying to exterminate millions of people, and blaming the whole country's problems on a minority group, right? And then you have, I'm sorry to say, but you have like Ethiopians, which are typically Amharas, but there are others, I'm sure, who are kind of discussing the Holocaust in a positive light. You have people like Iskender Nega, who, Ethiopians or rather Amharas are supporting, as a leader, as a possible leader for Ethiopia. And he's written things in support of the Holocaust, saying that, Ethiopians should take the lead of the Holocaust, or take a note from the Holocaust when they're dealing with Tigrayans, right? So, this picture here is not an exaggeration. This picture is actually pretty accurate.
Definitely.
Jamal, what do you think?
Man, definitely.
My question originally was, how do we overcome African dictators?
Man, that's a tough question, man. African dictators been around forever, so I mean, by sticking together is the only way. But
I agree.
African dictators are not only African dictators, any dictators. The best way to stop them is don't give them support, because I mean, we feed the dictators themselves. If you've seen Hitler, he was like Abiy when he first came. Everybody loved him. He was for the Germans, free German. Jewish is taking your jobs away from you. Jewish is doing this, doing that to you. And look at what ended up happening to the Jewish and German. Same thing with Abiy right now. The Tigray, Sarraka Tigray, Zarrafa Tigray, Ndazadaraga. They keep saying that. So at the end of the day, it's just the same approach. That's what dictators do. They say they target a group of people or ethnicity or religion, whatever it is, and they talk about them so much, make the rest hate them. And what enables them to become dictators is when the rest actually claps for them, like, good job, go kill the Tagaru, go kill the Jewish people, whatever the Holocaust may be, I mean the genocide may be. But dictators are enabled by the people. I heard an interview with what's his name? The guy who just came out of jail. He's an Ethiopian politician.
Oh, Lidatu?
Huh?
Lidatu.
Yeah, Lidatu, yeah. I like Lidatu. Yeah, Lidatu. He said we shouldn't only put blame on the leaders, because it's the people that enable the leaders. It's the people that clap, like they did with Abiy. I mean, kulom hoilom, right? Like everybody clapped for him, and that gives the leader the power and the courage to commit any genocide or anything they want. So the best thing to stop not only African dictators, but any dictator, is when you see your brother being killed, say something, don't be quiet. When you see different treatment for the rest of the people or the group of people that live in your country, say something. Don't wait till it gets to you, because by the time it gets to you, the leader is a dictator already, and it's a wrap. Yeah, that's Lidatu, very great man. So he was saying, you have to blame the people. It's the people. Like when I say the people, not all people, but certain people, they enable the leaders to become dictators. So if those people stop doing that and stand for the truth, no dictator can come out and be dictator without no support. Dictators enjoy a big number of support, by the way. That's how they become dictators.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. People don't understand. Eventually, it's going to come back to them. Like in the beginning, it's like they think that the dictators behind them are supporting them, but eventually, it's going to come back to them. It's just if he eliminates Tigray, then he eliminates the Oromos, and eventually he's going to get to whoever was supporting him. So it's no one is spared when you have a dictator,
Exactly.
So I'm curious. So like, why is there so much hate within? Why is like so many? I mean, so many of the Africans, whether it be here, in the diaspora or at home, the silence of the African brothers and sisters. There's more African Americans actually speaking against the genocide than like Africans that I personally know. I mean, isn't that like disgraceful?
Other Africans are speaking out, but Ethiopians
around me, like the people that I know, the majority of African Americans that I don't even know are like talking about it to me than Africans that I personally know.
Exactly, Ethiopians, especially Ethiopians. I mean, the only few Ethiopians I saw speak, two of them were the ones he interviewed in DC. Remember? Was it you that interviewed them, or it was Cyber Power, or the other guy?
That was me. Yep.
Okay. So it's not a lot. I mean, my own friends that I grew up with don't give a. I mean, they don't give a. I don't want to say, but they don't care. You know what I mean?
Oh, you can say they don't give a damn. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, they don't give a damn. I mean, they don't care. Like, I mean, they don't even ask you how your parents is doing or how your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother. Nobody cares. So, in my opinion, the only people we got for Tagaru is Tagaru, period. Or, like Oromos, they sympathize with us because they are going through the same issues themselves. So we can unite with Oromos too. So unless somebody shares your views, and those views mean a lot right now because it's between life or death right now. So I mean, we can unite with those that work with us, but for the most part, we need to just strengthen Tagarus amongst us. That's the only thing we can do.
And that's I mean, so the thing that I'm like really encouraged seriously is like just the energy level within Tagaru. Do you know we're terrifying them actually? Do you guys know that?
Oh, definitely.
They're like, I mean, they literally like they've never thought. I mean, I personally, I didn't doubt like the will and the strength of Tagaru, but what I was shocked and surprised actually how many Tagaru there are. That I mean, I like kind of one of you said it earlier that actually both of you said it where we just all assume like, oh, Ethiopians, but we never like looked at specific ethnics or whatever, because we all just like, oh, whatever, we're just like diaspora and like, we just like blend into society. And I mean, even in most applications, like, I don't know, many of us just put African Americans, like, so we never thought until now. So for those of you who are following, particularly those who are not Tigray origin or Ethiopian origin, we as Tagaru, honestly, as a young Tagaru, we never looked back and say like, oh, we're like special Ethiopian American or Tagaru American. We just always like, I mean, personally, like many people that I know in my generation and younger, we just put like, in any application, any form, just like it's African American. But now we just start digging deep and like, okay, why is it so many? Like you have 110 million Ethiopians and 110 million people. You subtract like what, 6.5 to 9 million, because we don't know the exact number in Tigray. But let's just assume there's like 9 million in Tigray. So 101 million plus 3.5 to 4 million Eritreans, plus 3,000 Somalian troops, plus drones from the United Arab Emirates came to eat up like Tigray. Literally to just like, like destroy a minority group. And where did they get all the strength to withstand all this?
Tigray
people.
Tigray is like, because at the end of the day, it's not about numbers. Like the Spartans, right? Before it was 300 soldiers that destroyed many soldiers, right? So the people that's fighting us on the other end, from Ethiopia, from Eritrea, from Somalia, they have no idea what they're fighting for. Literally, I mean, they fighting because Abiy told them to go fight. They're fight, and then the Eritreans are fighting because it's mandatory to be in a military. That's what they do, and that's all they know to do. We are fighting to save our children, mothers, fathers, like, this is, if we don't fight, we're gonna die. This is a survival thing. So when you fight for an actual cause versus you fight because you're told to fight, it's different. That's one. That's what makes us unbeatable. And as history saw, I mean, we were around for thousands of years, not yet destroyed. And I mean, it's not going to happen now, because Tagarus, we always have a history and a structure that keeps us together for the most part, which we tend to forget on our good moments, which we shouldn't, by the way. But it's not about numbers, man. It's not about numbers. Anyway, how many people can you put in a military? You're not going to put your whole population in the military. You only need so many. The Jewish are the smallest in numbers, and they have one of the strongest militaries, because they control United States, they control everything. So it's not about like, for example, Dubai doesn't even have their own military. They pay the special ops and other United States militaries to fight their battles, like Saudi Arabia and stuff, because they have money. So military is not fought by numbers. That's what I'm saying. So more than numbers, we have brave people that is willing to give their life. We have the best fighting terrains too. Like, our mountainous areas are impossible to penetrate. So God is on our side. Everything, like, it's just a combination of things. Look at what happened right now when we got invaded. Look how all the Tagarus all around the world just united, and we made it like our job to do this now. Like, and most Tagarus are doing that. So this shows you we're not regular people. We're indigenous people. That's how I feel about Tagaru. And you can't just destroy Tagaru, because Tagaru is an idea to me. It's not just a place. It's an idea. It's like,
Man,
you couldn't destroy Judaism because it was a whole idea, religion. Tagaru is like that to me. And you can't destroy Tagaru because of that,
spot on. Spot on. I mean, you said it well. Sen, I'm gonna let you go in a sec, but I just like, you just hit like just so many good points. For those of you who are following us, we appreciate you on Cyber Power of Tigray. I will say this to you: the strength and the unity of Tagaru, it's only getting better and stronger by the day. And personally, like, I stopped crying, seriously, because I'm just like, it hurts, but at the same time, I'm excited when I see so many Tagaro out just for the same cause. That's just what gets me going. I mean, seriously. And for me, I'm just like, like, I work full time. I work full time job, and my job, I'm like so blessed for them to understand and to be supportive of what I do. So all these protests that I've been going, for those of you who are wondering, I am self-funded. I take care of my life myself. When I travel, I take care of myself financially, and I'm blessed to have coworkers who fill in for me when I'm on the road. I'm blessed to have a job that allows me to take time off whenever I need to go participate in protests. I'm utilizing most of my vacation time, obviously, but I think, it's blessing to be able to say to my coworkers and my boss, like, hey, there's a protest in New York, I gotta go. And they're like, good luck to you, Mike. I mean, literally, genuinely, like, they're asking me to update them how things are going. They're following, like, like the tweets that I do, the Facebook posting, everything that I do. And I'm just like, I'm humble, I'm blessed. This country, like, has given, like, us Tagaru, like, so much opportunity and chances. So I just wanted people to know that, yeah, like, we are dedicating our time to serve Tigray, to fight for Tigray politically, because militarily we have our heroes, like, Jamal said earlier, on the ground fighting. But for us here, when I saw the representative from the State Department walk out to accept our letter, and then for them to then 3 days later to come out publicly and say Amhara militia and Eritreans out of Tigray, that's remarkable. Sednai, I interrupted you, but go ahead, please.
No, I was gonna say anything. I can't follow up from what Jamal said. You know what I mean? Like he said it literally everything that needs to be said. You know, Tagaru it's an idea. You know, it's not just. Of course, for most of us, it's our ethnicity, but you know, we know Tagarus who are like 1/4 Tigray. You know what I mean? But they're fighting, willing to die, just like the rest of us. So it's an idea. You know, it's like the idea of perseverance, always being the underdog, always winning, right? So.
True that. So I know we said it at the beginning. We're gonna repeat it like a few times before we go off, but March 13, what's going on? Because we got new people coming in, so we need to like briefly just kind of. I'm gonna let you, Sunai, stay on it. But what's going on in LA on March 13, next Saturday? Not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday.
Yeah, so the following Saturday, March 13th, we're gonna have a nationwide protest. So we're calling all cities, all states. If you're in Canada, you can make it out, come out. It's gonna be March 13th, 1 p.m. It's gonna be at the Chinese Theater. It's an iconic theater. And like Jamal said, you know, they've had the Black Lives Matter protest there. They had a protest against Armenian genocide there. So we're kind of following those footsteps. You know, we're gonna make our way to KTLA, which is a local news station. We'll speak over there. We'll make our way back to CNN, and from there back to the Chinese Theater in Hollywood. You know, we're expecting to have a lot of people there. We're gonna have some amazing guests. We're gonna have some amazing speakers, some young activists. So you know, we're hoping that the country comes out and supports it. As we've seen in past protests, such as New York and DC, where you know the entire country flew over there. Yeah, we're smaller in numbers, but when we all come out to a protest, it makes such a big effect. And like Michael was just saying, when you guys are handing that letter off to the State Department rep, that's because you guys, you know, we came in such a strong number, such a strong show of force. Black Lives Matter was successful because they had thousands of people in the street. You know, it's impossible to ignore it. You know, when you have 10 people, 50 people at a protest, you know, it can be ignored. But when you have, you know, thousands of people, like you can't ignore that. And that's one of the biggest things that's going to help us to really achieve our goal, which is peace for Tigray, an independent Tigray, and peace for our people.
And there's a flyer. So it is obviously dedicated to our young sister, Mona Lisa Abraham, who refused to be raped by Eritrean thugs. And she took a bullet to her arm and her leg. She is amputated as a result of that. So on March 13, we are going to bring as many of you as possible to Los Angeles, California. And we're going to start 1 p.m. So 1 p.m. means 1 p.m. تقارع حواتنا. ساعات كلتا ساعات حدا فرقنا يكون نقصرنا. ساعات حدا. So those you around 12:45, 12:30 ምናምን ጌርኩም ንዑ ተራኸው ብሰዓትና ንሰርሖ ዘለና ታሪክ ኣይኮነን ብጣዕሚ ንዘለዓለም እንኳን ንሕና ዘይኮናስ ንውላድና ውላድና ታሪክ ተሰሪሑ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ሓርነት ዝንሄ ናብ ባርነት ኣይንበርክኽን ኢሉ ዓወት እናካየደ እዩ ዘሎ መንእሰይ ትግራይ ይቃለስ የሽንፍ እዩ ዘሎ ኣብ መንጎ ግን እዘን ምንም ኩናት እትዋት ዘይኮና ደቂ ኣንስትዮ ህፃውንቲ ኣሕዋትና ብለያቦ መሽረፈት ዝመርሖም ወታደራትና ብለይባ ናይ ሻዕብያ ወራር ሓይሊ ኢሳያስ ኣፈወርቂ ንህዝቢ ኤርትራ 30 ዓመት ዝጨቆነ 30 ዓመት ድኽነትና ባርነት እምበር ሃፍቲ ትምህርቲ ዘየምሃረ ህዝቢ ኤርትራ ጨቁይኑ ዝነበረ ኣረጊት ከም ከልቢ ተዓፀፈ መልክዕ ዘይብሉ ገጽ ኣረጊት ሰብኣይ ጽባሕ ንጎ ብምርኩስ ወይ ድማ ብሓደ ነገር ብገመል ናብ ብሓደ ጠሪቑ ዝመውት ረይሳ ዝኾነ ተይሞቶ እንተለግን ህዝብና እንታይ ዝመስላ ኣሕዋትና ደቂ ኣንስትዮ ጀጋኑ ቆንጀታት ይልከም ኣለዋ ብዚ ዘይረብሕ ከልቢ ናይ ሻዕብያ ወራር ሓይሊ ስለዚዩ ነዚኣቶም ወይ ድማ ከም ረመፅ ኣብ ትግራይ ክቕበሩ ወይ ከኣን ብሓይሊ ናይ ሕብረተ መንግስቲ ናይ ዓለም ንድዑ ድፍኡ ንብለ ዘለና ንዚ እዩና ናብ ትግርኛ ሕፅር ዘወርክዎ እቲ ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ እዚ ብሰዓቱ ንክንርከብ በእንግሊዝኛ ኮመንታይለ ግን ከምዚ ምፅራፍ ከይመስል ንሕና ኣሕዋትና ተጋሩ መሓዙትኩም ሓደ ሰብ ዝመፅ ተልዩ 2-3 ወሲኽኩም ዓለም ሙሉእ ንኽፈልጦ ከምቲ ናይ ዋሽንግተን ዲሲ እንተገበረ ኣብ ሎስ አንጀለስ ንክንራኸብ እዚኣ ሓደራ ንብለኩም ቅፅል ኢና እውን ኣብ ቀፃሊ ኔክስት ዊክ ክንቀርብ ኢና እዞም መናእሰይ ኣሕዋት እዚኣቶም ከምዚ ገይሮም ኣትኪሮም ናብ ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ዝወፅዎ ዘለው ልቦም ደኺሙና እንተይበሉ ስራሕ እናሰርሑ ንኣብነት ጀማል ከም ዝሪእኹምዎ ድምፂ እናሰማዕኹም ነርኩም ኢኹም ናይ ቆልዓ ስለ ኣቦ እዩ ከማይ ኣነ ኣቦ እየ ስለዚዩ ስራሕ እናወዓልና ደቅና እናተኻናኸና ኣብቲ መንጎኸ ንህዝቢ ትግራይ ንትግራይ ሃገርና ሰዓትና እናወፈይና ንስርሖ ዘለና ስራሕ ኣብ ጎንኩም ኮይና ተጋሩ ኣሕዋተይ ደመወዝ ዘለዎ ይኮነን ደመወዝና ግን ንህዝብና ካብ ጭቆና ካብ መከራ ንምውፃእ ስለዝኾነ ሓቢርና ብሓደ ንስራሕ ኣየኹም እዮና ተቋንቋና መድረክ ናብ እንግሊዝኛ ክንቅይሮ ኢና ጀማል ኣብቲ መጨረሻ ወይ ሕዚ ተደልዩ ትግርኛ ብደንቢ ይዛረብ ሰሚዖዮ እየ ኣምሓርኛ እንተልኩም ትግርኛ ሰናይ ሙን ጎበዝ እዩ ይሰምዒ ብደንቢ ኣብቲ ምዝራብ ስለ ዝሓፅሮ ብትዝሐሸ መገዲ ፀገም የለን ኢልና ኢና ቅድሚ ሕዝም ሰናይ ቀሪቡ ኣቅሪቡና ነይሩ እዩ ዘይና እና ተጋሩ ኣሕዋተይ ኣብ ሚድል ኢስት ዘለኹም በተለይ ይርደአን እዩ ሓደ ግዜ መልእኽቲ ተመሓላልፍሉ ኢኹም እቲ ቋንቋ ትዛረቦ ዘይርደአና እናኾነ እምበር እኮ ትሰርሖና ትገብሮ ዘለካ ብሳይበር ፓወር ትግራይ ደስ እዩ ዝብለና እናበልኩም መልእኽታት ትሰድለይ ኣሕዋተይ ይቕኒየለይ መብዛሕትኡ ነብዝሖ ዘለና ናብ እንግሊዝኛ ግን ብዓለም ሙሉእ ብበዝሒ ማነው ኣብ ኣዲስ ኣበባ ተወልዶም ዝዓበዩ ኣሕዋትና ተጋሩ ኣብ ስደት ተወልዶም ዝዓበዩ እንግሊዝኛ ቋንቋም ስለዝኾነ ኢናና ትግርኛ ሕውስ እናበልና ኣብቲ መንጎ ክንቅፅለሉ ኢና ዘረባን ሓቢለልኩም ኣለኹ መሊስና መድረኽ ናብ ጀማል ክንኣቱ ኢና ሰናይ ዛዕባ እቲ ናይ ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ እዩ ገሊፁልኩም ዘሎ ቅፅል ኣቢልናኸ ንቐፃሊ ግዜ ንሕና ካብዚዩ ዝሓለፈ ርኢና እየና መፅባሕ ንጎ ትግራይ ናፃ ምስ ኮነት እቲ ያንግ ጀነሬሽን ከይዱ ትግራይስ እንታይ ክሰርሐላ እዩ ኢልና ሕፅር ኣቢልና ጥያቄ ብእንግሊዝኛ ይቀርበሎም ዞም ኣሕዋተይ ተኸታተሉና so Jamal I know you understood what I say that being said many Tagaro are just they can't wait to go back to Tigray but when I say that can we all take responsibility to make sure we stay united to work for Tigray, to support Tagaro? And because this energy right now, I love it. We all love it. But we must also maintain it. Just like the Israelis, they remain bond. And I think their strength is proven that no matter what comes along the way, when it comes to the nation Israel, they all stand together. They fight together. They die and bleed together. And Tagara is showing that. So we haven't done this before because I don't think we've been tested to this magnitude in the past. So given what we see today, without having to build like hatred, I know we are bothered by it. We're pissed off. We are angry. Like all of those things. I get it. But can we emphasize and focus on how we're going to build Tigray, but most importantly, how we're going to stay united together as Tagaru? This is our moment. So give us word of wisdom, word of encouragement for all the Tagaru around the world, including those who are desperate to get out of Addis Ababa in Ethiopia.
Yeah, so just to point out to the point you said we've not been tested to this magnitude before, I disagree. We have been tested many times before to this magnitude from all the kingdom times till now. Tigray is always being tested and always prevailing. But the problem we keep having is we keep going back to the same problem. We defeat them. We don't completely destroy them. They come back and we go through this again. So, and the problem, one is, like you said, when we get back to peace time, we don't keep the same energy. We go back to our lives, back to not caring, basically, So the best thing we can do now is we need to keep this momentum that we got going right now. We have a lot of organizations we're starting as Tagarus around the world now. don't stop those. You know, like let's say if you have a nonprofit set up now and you started it because of the war, and you're helping Tagarus because of the war. If the war ends, it doesn't mean your job is done. What? Not if the war ends, when the war ends, because the war would definitely end, and we're gonna win, you know. But the thing is, when it stops, your work don't stop. Your work just changes. It goes from defending. First, it was defending. Now it's attacking. By the way, we're no longer defending. We're attacking. And then after we free Tigray, it's going to be rebuilding. So the rebuilding is actually even harder. They took us back, in my opinion, 10 years, if not longer. They destroyed everything we have. They looted everything we have. They've like caused so much trauma to our people. And the chemical effect, we don't even know it, you know? We don't even know. Like the drones that got used, they have chemicals. The chemical effect and what's going to do to Tagarus in the future, we don't even know it yet. So our work after we win just begins, you know? So we need to keep the same energy. We need to, the main thing is financial, right? Like at the end of the day, the Jewish, they won by making sure all the money circulates within their community. So the main way you can destroy or build somebody is by putting money in his pocket or by taking money out of his pocket. So how do we build Tagarus? Put money in their pocket. Buy everything Tigray. Go eat at a Tigray restaurant. Go spend your money, buy your injera from a Tigrawayti, not from any injera maker. Everything that you spend, make sure you buy it from Tigray, and then, or from Tigrawayti. And then if there is no business that a Tigray or Tigrawayti can provide to your need at the moment, don't do it with the enemy at least. Right now, the enemy is Ethiopian establishments. For example, here in LA, I stopped supporting any Ethiopian establishment. And this is not being hateful. This is being smart. If the country that you live in is no longer recognizing you as an Ethiopian and they're attacking you, and you go and buy their products, you're just putting more fuel and more weapons in their hand for them to keep attacking you. So we need to completely stop using their products. So, and not only stop, but we need to increase spending our money at Tagaru businesses. You know, the Jewish, it's said that the money circulates 6 or 7 times within the community before it leaves the community. And the black community, I don't know about Tigray and Ethiopian, but an African American in general and black community, it doesn't even circulate once. Like you get paid and you go spend it with the white guy, it's a wrap. So let's be like the Jewish, you know, you get paid, you go spend it at a Tigray restaurant, that Tigray restaurant goes and buys injera from a Tigrawayti, she hires a Tigrawayti, and they go to the Tigray mechanic and get their car fixed. We have all of those businesses I'm mentioning, by the way, now. If you want to chill, go chill at a Tigray establishment. We have that too. There is nothing we don't have that you have to go out look for. And if you do have to go out look for, go to an American establishment. I mean, don't go to the enemy. Go to a neutral establishment, you know? So that's the best way we can do. And I think by keeping this energy and all the organizations we started now, we need to keep them going. And we need to keep, you know, doing better for ourselves, you know? Everybody try to better your life, you know? Try to, if your job is not working, try to find a different job. If you have to go to school, go to school. If you have to open a business, open a business. But as a Tigrawayti, there is no excuse to be broke right now, or there is no excuse to be uneducated right now. We need to be the most educated. We need to have the most money. We need to be the most influential because we got the least numbers of people. So by uniting together, keeping this momentum going, I am really hopeful everything will be better, because I already see it. My business alone, more Tagarus are coming now that didn't come before. And I see more Tagarus boycotting Ethiopian businesses, Eritrean businesses.
That's right.
It's working. We just gotta keep this up, you know.
I'm loving it.
Like,
go ahead, Sanai.
Sorry, Mike. I'll just say, I mean, I know most of the people in the, who are watching are probably Tagadu, or, at least they're Ethiopian, so they have an idea. But for people who are not Tagadu and they're like, why would you boycott, Ethiopian restaurants or try to penalize them? People need to understand that money that they make, a lot of this war, a lot of the things that the Ethiopian government does is funded by diaspora. That's why we say we're boycotting them. We're not spending our money, because that money is going to end up killing our people, being used against us. So, it's not like, it's just like, we're mad at the Ethiopian government, so we're taking it out on Ethiopians. Now, we would never do that. We're not petty like that, you know what I mean? So that's the reason, right? And of course, like Jamal said, the more time the dollar circulates in your neighborhood amongst your own people, that wealth is going to build and compound in your neighborhood. And whatever he said with the dollar circulating, that's all facts. What he said about the black community with the dollar circulating 0 times, where you compare it to a Jewish community where it circulates, multiple times over. If you even compare that to back in the day when they had Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a dollar in that black community circulated 10 times before it left the community. And that was, in recent history, maybe in all American history, that was the richest Black American community in America. And that was because that dollar circulated in that neighborhood 10 times before it went out to to a white man or to, another establishment, another community. So it is important that we do shop amongst ourselves, that we do think about, our financial success, right? That is the way we help Tigray. I know we keep bringing it back to Israelis and the Jewish people, but they did it right, for being a minority, being able to compound their wealth, making smart moves, and then being able to support their country, support Israel, and lobby here in America, lobby in Western countries. Look what they've been able to do, right? So it's not that we hold them on a pedestal or anything like that. They're people like any other community. But the strategies that they employed, we see them 100 years later, 50 years later, we see how they paid off. So, I mean, that's just the mentality you have to have. You know what I mean? Like, we are small, we are for us. We don't have anyone else supporting us at the moment. So we're fighting for ourselves. Digital Wayana, TDF, we're fighting for ourselves, right? So financially, we need to do the same thing. We need to take care of our own people. We need to hire Tagadu. We need to spend Tagadu. Whatever you can. But yeah, definitely don't be spending your money with Ethiopian establishments, because the majority of them have not spoken out against the war. The majority of them are speaking out against what we're trying to do, which is stop genocide, stop the war, call for peace. And the majority of them are sending money back to be used against our people, against the genocide. If you really think about it, that's criminal, right? So.
Well, and that's
just to add to that, to add to Sanai's point, they're spending their money on funding the war or anything, because I mean, some of them, the diaspora has directly helped the government, but it's not only that. I mean, even if they're not spending their money with, even if they're not helping with money, if they're not supporting the Tagaru when we're being massacred in a country we called ours, then that shows that we can't support a business like that. Then next time they will think how powerful not having a Tigray, like imagine if all Tagarus just boycott everything, that will make an impact in an Ethiopian business, because Ethiopian business is not, I mean, the biggest number, but a big portion, a good portion of the customers of Ethiopian customers are Tagaru. So that's off their pocket. And so it's not only good, it's off their pocket because they're going to support the Abiy government. But even if they don't, if they're silent, they're going to think again next time they're silent, first of all. maybe they want to gain our business back, and maybe they're going to start speaking out. That's one. And then that money needs to be put back in a Tigray pocket or Tigray pocket, because that's who we need to help. So it's not about we're mad at and we're being childish, we're not going to spend our money there. It's just, it makes more sense to support your own businesses, one, and then it makes more sense to take money away from those who doesn't support you. Not only who supports your oppressors, but even if they're quiet, they support your oppressors. It's the same thing. Thank you. I just wanted to add that to some nice point.
Mike, you're on mute, but I'll just say this real quick.
Oh, I was on mute. All right. So I was agreeing with what Jamal said and what both of you guys said. You know, it's really interesting actually. At the beginning of the show, not today, but you know, early on when I start hosting like English, because mostly, you know, we were doing it like in Tigrinya, and it's like, you know what, we gotta cater to the audience that don't speak Tigrinya. So what I've been saying is pretty much consistent to the more elaborative discussion we just had right now. Is that, look, you know, early on I was just pressing more, like saying to people like, don't buy your hats and shirts and kushuf and all this gear from just website randomly, the Amhara who are producing them and Eritreans who are producing them and making money on, you know, on the name of Tigray, because they know many Tagars are so angry and we want to show it, right? So I start telling people, don't spend your money, keep your money with Tagaru. Buy it, you know, even if you have to spend an extra $5-10 more than someone else trying to sell it to you cheaper, don't do that. I mean, that's literally what I've been saying, but it's so beautiful the way you just elaborated and expanded it to like bigger. But I'm a little bit more harsher than the kind and respectful manner that you guys approached it. I am angry at Ethiopians. I don't want them to have my dime. Mine, meaning my all Tagaru, there's no negotiation. There's no room. It's black and white. The two color are clear. It's black and white. I'm gonna like, this is where I go rant. No filter. I don't give a damn. Okay. All you Tagaru, don't waste a dime on Amhara business. Okay. And let me say this, Tagaru spend far more money supporting Ethiopia than Amhara. Amhara is like they're just like jib, leba, meaning like thieves. So with that being said, imagine how crippling the economy in Ethiopia will be continuously. It's already crippled right now because of the war. America just cut off $272 million. European Union, what, cut off like 80 something million euro, excuse me, million, not billion. So that is because Tagaru unity, Tagaru march, voice, address the deep concern, the troubling atrocity throughout Tigray. Tigray was not a nation. The idiot Amhara out there, I don't have room for you to argue with me, because Tigray was Ethiopia. It is no longer Ethiopia because you decided to disrespect Tagaru, to bring in outside sources. Because you know why? Because you're a little chicken. You don't know how to fight. You never fought a war and won a war without Tigray, without Tigray. So that's why you needed like 500,000 plus troops from Eritrea, from all the other 9 regional states of Ethiopia, and you still got destroyed. You brought drones. You did. You know how many times did Getachew Reda die? Have you announced Getachew Reda die? I mean, just think about it. They haven't even captured a single Tigray Defense Force leadership. That tells something. Like Jamal said it earlier, The number don't mean a thing. And 200 times Amhara militia, federal troops. Just imagine for a sec the strength of Tagaro. So with that, let's shift the gear. Let's make sure we're doing business smart, not business as usual. Actually, when we go to have a meal Ethiopian on business and they see us with our Tigray flag and everything, I worry they might do something to the food. I mean, they are so like terrified of us right now because we saw people, because they want us to like, they came to DC. Like, no, we're not here to fight anybody. We're here to get Ahmed's like picture on it. And I'm just like, are you serious with me? No, they fight. You know what? We didn't give them what they want. We ignored them. You know, and the police, the DC police, man, much love to them. Seriously, they showed up so quickly, and they told those two guys what Jamal started. We're not forgetting what needs to be done. With that, I'm gonna. Did you guys see this tweet? This was posted on Twitter. Just what we've been saying. It says a leaked internal briefing shows fear in Addis Ababa with respect to the growing international pressure on the war on Tigray. That's right. So the pressure that we've been bringing, it's working. Abiy Ahmed, it looks like to me they're handing him over like a toilet paper. So now he has to go around, you know. Let's see if I can get you back on. Oops. All right. I think it was kind of, hopefully you heard me right, didn't I?
A little bit. You're kind of cutting in and out there,
Okay.
Mike.
We must be a little bit disconnected.
You are cutting up a little bit.
Can you hear me? No?
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of going in and out and freezing a little bit. But
Okay. What about now?
yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So I was saying, like, Abiy Ahmed is terrified. Gotcha. I was showing you guys, somebody's trying to hand him over a toilet paper because he's scared to death. Still cutting in and out.
Yeah.
He's still cutting up.
What is going on?
Somebody was saying,
okay.
Maybe Abiy Ahmed is messing with that.
Senai, go ahead. I can hear you guys fine. I think it's my end. I'm having an issue maybe.
You got hacked by the Ethiopian government. You know they're doing that right now. They're trying to hack different activists and people who are
exactly. Yeah, he got hacked.
Well, this is a good time to remind everybody we have a protest on March 13th. It's a Saturday, so don't use the excuse that you have work. You guys should be off. You can fly in Friday night. You know, we will take you around LA. You know, after it's a good time to come for a weekend. It's warm in LA. March 13th, Saturday, 1 p.m. It's gonna be in Hollywood. We're gonna go from Hollywood to KTLA. It's a local news station from KTLA to CNN. You guys on CNN. They just covered the Mariam Dengalat's massacre too, so they should know who we are by that point, right? So, you know, we have some guest speakers. You have to see who it is when you get there. But some prominent Tagaros. We're going to have some prominent Tagaro activists come speaking. It's going to be amazing. And it's going to be, you know, it's a take it as support, like Jamal was mentioning earlier, and Mike said it too. you know, these protests are like therapy. You know, we're kind of like, you know, before this it was like depressed, you're alone, but just like that, like you feel like you have brothers and sisters, you feel like you have community. And you know, when you're in the protest, you're not sad, like you just feel strong. You know, you might feel a little anger, but you feel strong. And after the protest, it's like you just have like this endorphin rush, you know. And even my dad was telling me, you know, he had been bummed out for a while. And I was like, just find when the protest is happening in your city, Dad. Go to the protest, like, you know, at least be a part of that. You're not going to feel like you're just sitting here, you know. He went to that protest, man. His whole demeanor switched up. His whole voice switched up. His attitude switched up. He was just like pumped, you know. And so that's what we need, you know. So, you know, I know some of the protests that are happening in your cities might be smaller, but you know, these national protests that they've been having in New York and DC, Mike and Jamal will tell you. I mean, you know, being around so many Tagarus, you're just gonna feel powerful, and you see that we can't lose after you go to a protest like that. So yeah, so come for the experience. Come visit some of our Tagaru establishments. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned everything. You know, bring all your flags too. We have some flags, but shortage of flags because we're expecting a lot of people. So bring your own flags, Tigray, and bring the USA flags too.
Yep.
That shows, you know, their USA is actually sticking with us now. It's funny, like USA sticking with us and China is not. I thought it would be the other way. You know what I mean? Because it's China that worked with us for many years, and we thought they would be the first ones. But USA is sticking with us. So bring United States flags, and we live in the United States. Most of us are citizens. So bring the United States flags. Bring Tigray flags. Your masks, make them Tigray masks. If you have any Tigray clothing, bring that. If you have Tigray hat, bring that. You can wear like TDF soldier clothes. Yeah, let's bring your shirt, bring everything, you know. Let's make it all Tigray. Like, let's turn Hollywood. We calling it shut down Hollywood. We're gonna shut Hollywood down. We're gonna turn Hollywood into you know, Tigray.
You guys
Like,
hear me now?
huh?
You're still freezing. Like it's kind of like you're lagging a little bit, you know.
Yeah, you're still freezing. Yeah. So, you know, let's shut down Hollywood. We're going to have all Tagarus over there. For that day, let's make the feel like, you know, we're there. We're present. Everybody that passes by there, they got to pass by there thinking, who are these people? You know, who are these people? Like, they need to be, you know, like, we've never seen them. Who are these people? We've never heard about them. Now they're going to hear about us. They're going to know about us. Let's show them how strong we can stand together. So let's unite. And then after us, they're going to have one in DC. We're going to go there. We're going to go everywhere, you know. Everybody should go everywhere. If you have the time and if you can afford it, you should go. I mean, fortunately, like Mike said, I'm fortunate to have my own business, so I can travel a little easier, but still it costs a lot of money. But it's worth it. Every penny is worth it because, I mean, aren't you glad all you have to give is your penny and your time? People is giving their life back home, you know? So this is the least we can do for them. So نخلهم تجارب حواتي دقيمة خنقركم زدالي نعو بحبار نخون دمسنا نسمع نهزبنا دمسنا نسمع ساتهم كزارة وزي خلوه نقر نزارة بلهم نايلب لبهم نوصل لهم دحر دما نوعلنا ون بحوار كنكون انتلنا بحوار كنسرح انتلنا زحاشة وسعيد سلنا مسع حزي خمت نرئو زلنا عن UN ون ملسخه ون أيام بغربة بعصرت حدا زي زمسع وسعيد كاب TDF تجراي diaspora forces زمسع وتيتي زي وسعيد وتيت عم حرنيا كوي وصني لنا يا أخي ግን ያው ካብኡ ዝመፃ እዩ እዚ ስለዚ ኩሎም ተጋሩ ብሓባር ኮይና ድምፅና ነስምዕ ኣብ ማእኸል ናይ ኣሜሪካ ሎስ አንጀለስ ሃሊውድ ኩሉ ኢንተርቴይንመንት ማእኸል ዝግበረሉ ቦታ ስለ ዝኾነ بتعمل significant እዩ ሽዑ እዛ ቦታ ናብ ትግራይ ቀይርና ድምፅና ምስማዕ ብጣዕሚ ኣድላይ እዩ ድሓር ጋሻታት ክህልውና እዮም ዝዛረቡ እስኻትኩም እውን ትፈልጥዎ ነገር ተሃልዩ ኮንታክት ግበሩና by the way our contact I'm going to say this in English if you want to contact us regarding any questions we have an Instagram page it's called Tigray Times Tigray Times Tigrays so Tigray Times is at Tigray Times on Twitter at Tigray Times on Instagram so we got both Twitter and Instagram page so if you follow it again it's Tigray Times everything is posted there you'll be able to see all the information you need and as far as parking there's a parking right behind the protest it costs $20 it's very convenient but if you want to save some money there is a little bit further away from the place and it's free and some are meters but if you want the convenience there is a parking right by the protest and it holds a lot of cars so I'm sure we can fill it up with all the Tagaru cars yeah so I mean this is all the message I want to pass كلهم Tagaru حواتنا نعو let's help each other let's make noise let's walk like one group of people you know everywhere we take everybody that's what it is everywhere every Tigrawa you know
Yes,
Mike
sir.
back I'm gonna start hosting for Mike man
Go ahead, man.
yeah man but you know use this opportunity to let everybody know you know what's going on and LA is a beautiful city you don't have to be freezing to death it's a very comfortable environment it's just like Tigray not just like Ethiopia just like Tigray very nice you know what I mean so it's nice it's not cold it's not hot you know you could be with your t-shirts protesting in New York my arm was about to cut off so now, you feel me so this is good we got the best weather yeah so no excuses not to come you know or you have 2 weeks you know let your employers know and if you're self-employed have your employees lined up so you don't have to be there either way just show up on the 13th of March and let's make this going let's make this happen
Yeah, I think it's important that we keep this going too. This kind of like city to city protest that we're doing. You know, we did it on the East Coast. Now we're back on the West Coast. We're gonna be back on the East Coast at the end of March. So I'll be there for this one, and hopefully we'll have one in the Midwest, Chicago or somewhere. Hopefully we can do one in South Atlanta, and keep the vibe going. You know, I mean, we see like you know if you look at it, and I'm sure everybody in the comments and everybody's kind of realized this. The trolls, the people who are attacking us on social media and everywhere, they're starting to come more and more, you know, on IG, on anything we post, they're starting to attack us more and more. There's a reason for that. It's because we're winning, you know. The pressure on the international community is starting to realize what is happening and they're starting to put pressure and they're scared. The Ethiopian government is scared. The Ethiopian diaspora is scared. They know what they've done wrong. They know they've committed crimes, and they know that their time is coming.
All right, guys.
What's happening anymore? What's up, Mike? And so,
hey, man.
For
you, welcome back.
We held it down for you, Mike. It's all good. We held it down for you, you know.
I'm sorry, guys.
Nah, we held it down.
All right.
Yo, who wants to
say hold on. We gotta read this. Gannat Haile. Tagaru, you will never see Arat Kilo for millions years. Okay. Gannat Haile. We're not fighting to see Arat Kilo. We don't want Arat Kilo. You can keep Arat Kilo. That's for you to keep. All we want is our people in Tigray to be safe. We don't want any Tagaru on Tigray or even an Arat Kilo to die. So you can keep your Arat Kilo. Even though we build it, we don't want it. Gannat. Thank you.
We're gonna bury her in the rest of the minute.
Yeah, she can keep the arat kilo. She's gonna bury herself in it. We don't have to waste time with people like that, you know?
There you go.
Yeah,
Irrelevant.
God is in Tigray. You know?
Irrelevant, you know? The people like that are irrelevant.
I like that.
They live here 40 years, ain't got no damn thing for their life, you know? She probably still working as a housekeeper. And the people that are talking about this are, most of them are probably still driving Uber. You know, they have nothing going on in their lives, man. You know, just, I mean, you know what, like, you know, it's cool to drive Uber and come now, but you've been driving taxi and Uber for 40 years and you don't have nothing going on. The best thing you could do is talk shit about Tagaru. So I understand you're gonna keep doing what you're doing.
That was harsh, man.
I mean, I'm just saying.
It was real. It was real.
It is what it is, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Mike, we were
That's
just,
what I'm saying. For all my Tagaru, man, you know, the best thing we could
It's
do.
just funny how, like,
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying for all Tagarus, what we can do is not worry about people like Gunnet. And I'm not saying be quiet. When they say stuff like that, you gotta let them know. You gotta let them know where they're, you know, where their place is. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, but for our Tagarus, we have to unite. We have to stand together and not spend our money with people like Gunnet and spend it, you know, with our own. And yeah, let them come and see us. We're interesting. That's why she's here watching us. She likes us, you know, unintentionally. She's obsessed with us. So is the rest of Ethiopia. They're obsessed with our history. They're obsessed with what we have. So they want it. Yeah, that's why. So they can keep watching us. And I actually enjoy them. It would be boring if everything we had here was good job, Jamal, good job, Sanai, good job, Mike. We need people like her. You know what I mean? Because then we know if you don't have a couple haters, you're not doing anything right. So,
Right.
yeah. If
Now she said we'll never see Mekale.
watch us. Yeah, definitely. Frawaini, Tigray will prevail. Definitely. That's for sure. No questions asked. That's it. Tagaru and Tigray. And then as far as the chains, look, you see this Tigray chain right here? Right there. You know what I mean? I can help. My friend made it for me. So if you guys don't know anywhere to get it made at, you can contact me. I'll get it made for you guys. You know what I mean? This is, you know.
I want one.
Yeah, this is diamond and gold, but we also can get it made with silver, cheaper, you know. So yeah, just get everything Tigray, man. You know, whatever you can afford. If you can afford the gold, get that. If you can't afford that, get the silver. You know, it's gotta be all in their face, everything. Mask Tigray, like, and we're gonna start a Tigray clothing line too, because all this Tigray stuff I'm ordering online, I don't even know who sells it, to be honest. There's this site called Love World. I mean, I bought a couple things from them. They sell Tagaru stuff, but it looks like an American website. So now we need to have a Tagaru website selling this. I mean, this Tigray stuff, if we don't sell it, who's going to sell it, you know? So soon,
We actually have a brother in LA who's selling most of the gear now.
Huh?
We got a brother in LA that's selling most of the clothing now.
who is that?
Who?
I gotta reach out to him. I got his contact info in DC. He lives in LA.
LA. That's our city. What's his name? I'm trying to think of. Yeah, I mean,
If he's
because
watching
there's one guy that saw his clothes and stuff. I don't know if it's him. He was selling the shirret over there last time. But yeah, I mean, like, if you know him, let me know, because we might know him too. Because there's a few people that come to our rallies sell stuff sometimes, but you know, I don't know who you're talking about exactly.
Yeah, I forget his name, but he was in DC. So as far as like you were talking about the flag earlier, I should have plenty of flags on their way, hopefully. And then Shurut, I got a sister like that left to out of the country. I'm not gonna go detail, but she's gonna bring like a bunch of them. So I'm hoping to have a handful of those. But
Oh, is it gonna
the
make it
flag,
by
you
then?
know, I got another brother that I'm working with right now. Yeah,
Is the
I'm
shootout
hoping
gonna
so.
be here
Well,
by
I
before?
don't think the shootout will be available by the 13th. I'm gonna see though.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so man, March 13, mark it on your calendar. Let's make some noise. We're gonna get on others media outlets too
And
and speak about this.
I can tell we're having like an audio delay.
Hmm?
He says having an audio delay. Everyone go ahead and follow at Tigray Times. Jamal mentioned it earlier. It's on Twitter and on Instagram. It's at Tigray with the Y Times, TIGRAYTIMES. Anything we do in LA, any event, anything we're promoting in LA, we're gonna promote it through Tigray Times. Any activism we do in LA, we'll have
All right.
that.
Well,
Oh man, Mike.
Mike, I think Abi got him, man.
Philippines got you, Mike.
act. I am hacked for sure.
It's all good.
Still not working?
It's all good. You can edit this part out.
Hey, March 13, March 13. Everybody, let's make some noise.
All right.
Just like the DC one, man. You see when the Oromos and the Tagaros came together? Yeah, we need to make it like that. We got 2 mics now, man.
Yeah. This one's clear. I can see you right there on this one.
Which one is the clone?
I can come through this one probably like pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, that one.
You're a lot clearer on that one.
Okay, good. All right, let's continue. Like, Mashrabat Ahmed got me like pretty good on this one.
Definitely.
But you guys can hear me better now?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. You got 2 mic now. This is the other mic.
All right.
So I apologize, guys. Like, yeah, like so I am getting like some errors on my other screen. Oops, now I'm losing you guys. Okay. You guys. Okay. All right. So I apologize for our audience, but I'm having some, I don't know what in the world's happening, but my screen is indicating some technicality, but I took over my phone. So that's a nice thing to control the system. So we're good. The other system just went dead, but we're live on this one. Good thing I had some backup. Nice. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get that brother's info. Like, hopefully that sells most of the Tigray flag, and I mean the Tigray gear. The flag, I'm working with a brother like to get those flags going like ASAP. The shooter thing, like, I'm hoping she'll be back before in time. So I think I was trying to get her grab at least like 20 to 25 of them or so. But anyway, the idea is, I know she, like, whatever she sells, like, she's been also donating 10% of the proceeds towards like Tigray cause and stuff. But just, we summed it up earlier. Let's keep our business with us. Let's, support Tigray business, Tagaro business. Let's stop sending money. Also, if all possible, let's stop supporting like the regime in Addis Ababa who is killing our people. Figure out a way to help our people. Keep the dollar here with us. Keep it within our circles. Figure out Tagaros to work with Tagaro back home. and we'll figure out a way to maneuver that. But anyway, I'm not going to get detail on that because there's anyway, I won't say it on air here, but let's have discussions تقارو كبدنا نفلت نتنكا نحنا نبي نوصل جنزبنا بنتاي وصل ني مشرفة ليفا بحيلا نسرق هزونا قتلوا لزول جنزب نوعد الناس دنا عين بلاش بعدنا بجنزبنا يهفتي كوين زول إثيوبيا رئيسين إثيوبيا وعلى فريسة حمق شطكون نبر نحنا عارفة خطركم كم زي الله نسرح لنا.
Definitely.
So I think we covered like what pretty much most of what we need to cover. So I'm gonna have you guys come back at least like twice before the protest, obviously, so we can continue to promote it. I was going to show you guys earlier a forum that I had pulled up, but we didn't get a chance to talk about it briefly. I think you guys were talking about keeping the money within, and I think Jamal, you mentioned about all the long work and like nothing on hand, like with the taxi drivers, with all the stories that we know. This Tigray organization that I'm still learning about it more, but Tigray Communities Forum. What I love about their platform and what they're hoping to achieve is precisely that, to upbring like Tagaru for entrepreneurship, to have home ownership, and just to build that wealth and strength Tagaru in the diaspora, so that we don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. We don't have to struggle, but figure out to become strong within our communities. And then when we do that, we financially become stable, and then we're able at that point to help like our folks back home, because I think we're capable of doing that. Tagar are the most hardworking, kind, respectful, and loving people.
Definitely, man.
So I'm gonna start off with you, Senai. You guys want to do a closing statement for our Tagars around the world?
Yeah, for sure. First, remember the protest. We hope to see everyone over there. I've talked to Tagarus from Australia to Europe to Canada to all over the States. I know the ones who are in other countries probably not going to make it to the LA protest, but the ones, who are all over America, we've been talking, we've been communicating. I know that a lot of you guys on social media, so we hope to see you guys, there in person, and I can meet you guys in person. First and foremost, March 13th, we have our protest, 1 p.m. It's on a Saturday. It's in Hollywood. Let's make some noise. Let's make sure LA knows who Tagaros are, where Tigray is, everything about our struggle, our plight. And a message for Tagaros all over the world, especially in Tigray. Things are tough right now, and at some points with all of this negative news coming out and people attacking us, it seems like things are getting worse, but things are getting better, right? It's darkest just before the dawn. So keep fighting. Know that God is in Tigray. God is in every Tagaru. And nowhere else. We are the original, right? We have the Ark of the Covenant, cradle of civilization. That's all Tigray, right? Oxford Empire, that's all us. So when things get tough, just remember, like, Tigray will prevail. Like, don't even question it. It's not even a thought, a doubt in my mind that Tigray will prevail. So that's all I gotta say. Just remember, things may get worse, things may get better, but in the end of the day, we will be independent, we will win, and so they'll know the mistake that they made.
Amen. All right, Jamal, I'm going to pass it on to you.
Yeah, so we had a very great discussion. Mike, you're great. You have a great page right here. You're going around recording everything, reporting everything. So this is one of our medias that we should support. Everybody should watch it more because, like we said, this is not a business, but if in the future it could be a business if it had enough views, right? So make sure you don't waste your time viewing other stuff. View this kind of stuff. So that being said, we want everybody to show up to the protests in LA, Hollywood, California. It's where all the superstars are. And on Saturday the 13th, 1 p.m., we're going to turn that place into Tigray. We're going to shut down everything, and Tigray is going to be right there. We're going to yell out. We're going to ask for help. We're going to thank the organizations that need to be thanked. We're going to criticize the organizations that needs to be criticized. We're going to have speakers. We're going to make a lot of noise. So just be around, fly here and support us. And let's speak together as Tagaru in any manner. You know, no matter where part of Tigray you're from, no matter what religion you are, no matter old or young, female or male, all of us are Tagaru. So all of us need to stand together. And especially the youth, I call up on the young Tagaru to take over and own to this, because it's your time, you know. It's your time right now as a young Tigrawai or Tigrawati to take over and not blame the elders for the bad things they did, or instead fill the you know, help them in the stuff that they can't do on their own, you know, and on the stuff that they were good at, learn that from them, and then bring it in a better, more energetic way. As young people, we need to take control of the situation, and our forefathers have brought us so far. Now it's time for us to take the baton and make some real changes. And as young Tagarus, the diaspora that's born here, some that came from back home like I did, we got a lot of power, man. We got a lot of power. We just don't know it. We have a lot of power. We're here in the United States. Some of us are in Australia. Some of us are in London. Some of us are, you know, across the world in Arabic countries like Beirut. No matter where we are, we're powerful. Together, we become one, and you know, we work on, you know, rebuilding Tigray. But for now, let's work on winning the war. And how we win the war is by putting a lot of pressure on this brutal regime we have in Ethiopia and in Eritrea. So thank you everybody for listening to us. Thank you everybody for logging in. And just follow Tigray Times for more information. Tigray Times, Tigray Times. And yeah, every information will be there for you. I love you guys, man. Ihwate. Tagaru, Tigray will prevail. United Tagaru never loses, you know. So yeah, and then he told me to mention that earlier too, Mike. Tagaru United will never be divided.
Tagaru United
will never be divided. Tagaru United will never be divided. There you go.
Tagaru.
You know, Tagaru United will never be divided. You know, that's right. How I end this. Thank you very much.
Let's make 3 chants on that.
Tagaru United will never be divided. Tagaru United will never be divided. Tagaru United will never be divided. There you go.
So
yeah, and I heard this. I want to give credit. I didn't just come up with this. I heard this in New York. I don't know who came up with this, but if it was the New York Tigray community, big ups to this slogan. I love it, and yeah, I've carried it everywhere else I went. But the first time I heard this was in New York, you know?
That's right. So, and because I want you to mention it, and we're going to continue to mention it, because in every protest, I want to make sure we utilize it. And it has a powerful meaning. And, you know, united Tagaru will never be divided. So we are now united. And I want to make sure we will never be divided moving forward.
Exactly.
So that's kind of my whole purpose. So with that being said, you guys said it beautifully. I'm going to shift the gear real quickly in Tigrinya, because you guys cover everything. I typically do both English and Tigrinya, my closing statement. But tonight, you guys cover me pretty well. So I'm going to say this in Tigrinya. أو على ملء زلهم تجارو دك تجراي جاغانو ولا حيز صلمات تمثلي ولا حيز مريت صبيم تمثلي تجراي نانا يصبنان مجدي بتوينا موصينا تجراي نانا
ببين وص ببين أتون فولتنا بدم بجرنا سلون السينا حمشتا مئة شح وتعدرم سيوم نتجراي نتجار خمبركم تمكروا تايم كوينم تعرفهم زلوا كم تعد دكتور دبرت إنزبلا رمز يو مريت تجراي نسأله رمز جرنا عنا نطفو أمبر نتجراي تنبركنا تجارو عين ركبنينا إذا تجراي أيم بركانيو تنبرك يفلتن حزم أيم بركانيو فرق مليون أمسو حدا مليون أمسو ببزح يكون الساعة تفوتينو يو عن توجمالي لوايو كم زي تفتينا إن فلتن كلم حيزي لكن تكلنيا بوقان ياو تفتينا كونيرنا أنا خميكر كارس هايو استاوي سن مالتيو هو بزح جزية تقراي تفتينا إياه تتفتنا تجن ما نيجي جزية نسأل حليفة أهابة تقراي الدنا سلازيو عابد دسابة زلهم تجارو تشوفون زلهم بمشرفة أحمدنا بتوم نهات الباندات لا يابو تملسوا من أنا باندا زلو بعرسن باندات لا يابو خوينا من هزوم نهاجرهم شيطهم زهو كيف دامات ما انتاز أناس مسلو عبد دسابة 4 كيلو خفيلهم حزب تقراي بشعبية ناتقتل ناتحاردي صباحنوك هو يتها مكرا نايت تقراي مسأنيها أبرؤسهم مسوردت مستمهروا واي ويني زلوا جزء خمس أيهم أيونا سلازيو حابنا هذي توجسنا زلنا مجد علامنا ما نيجي جزء كلاشن تشكيم كون انتراي أرسي زشنا نسألاي بالدبلوماسي بالبوليتيكا بكل نجار نصرح زلنا سدس لنا بتلاي من عسي diaspora صار هو ذا لهم سرح عبي سرحيو عبي حابنيو نهز بتجراي نتجراي هاجرنا سلازيو إذا حزنا يزنينا علامنا ندحريت كينبل أما ممكن حد جزء مجرج أول خمسيو نهائي يقول زيجن ستمات كوينا مسمرنا عالم أسمعنا مننتنا أنكت إنا يومنا زلنا تري ولهم إرتراويان 3 عمت ملو تبتينا كم دك زاكرا تزحزنكم جن إرتراويان تعرف كم لنا إرتراويان خانة وسبقنا يومنا من تزحزن حد شقان يسأل اسمه خفينه زيارة أسا أو يوصل 3 عمت زيارة فوتي يكون يوصل تسدي بزرنا ثم تعطي تراوين محيزي مسكين كويد كفنا دولاريا سلازيو أيونا بزح عين حرب سلا عين أجن كل جزء زقالة تجمع لي أنا خندر عين جنينا تراوين يعني يرد أمر ثم لبزرنا هو إذا قف السرح زلة إذا تراي سواء نقول فدا حيا فدا 5 خفت يرد أمر فدا كلهم كذا هو هنا نفدي له نقدي ترى هذا القاتل له أيكون كم يكون الأمانة كم جانا نفلت لغة صاروا كم يعني كبر إتي ترى هذا أتوزر أتصارع لخندك لعمتها وكذا خفت سلطاني زي ولد بنحيزنا سلطنا عنا زح صباحكم وجهيو أم على ختمة أو دم قصير زلمور ختمة تجري تأكيدنا هلنا بنا صحواتنا شهرنا نردو وزيلا مناسب وندران سوتيلو جزء كمس يو أيهم كم سنة تتري تبون نوركو كاب وست كوست يا مسحواتي سناينا جمال حبيبنا نحبكم زلنا نيا مالتيو أنا ورتكنيا بزحتنا أنا سوي كنا بزي نانو أدو قال نيا كنا جن تعاونا حب حزنا إذا حسابات أعرفكم زلنا رم عتمشت أنا حب الله أنا اليوم نحد ساعات قال لنا حسب لنا برنامجنا نكونكشن على هذا سجون مسلسلنا ولا يو أبغى أسألك زي كنا حسب بينا كنا أوركم هنا إسكان نبرح أبغى أسألك زي المركز لهم دحنا يدوروا أكاري حجرات لهم نبوت لهم كان دحن وحلو دحن ناوركو بزيو يجب بشرقوا زي نحطنا لهم عندي يعني اللي جمال أما ترى شخص له هيخمونا في استوديو من الراحة بنا سنة كاني فضل أيو حسب بينا حنجر شاينا تا زينا أنا قد بزيها نجر شاينا يعني اللي good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Take care, everybody.